about fixing my brain, but I'm afraid I won't feel the same. 'Cause baby, it's all I do. I've been thinking about fixing my brain, but I'm afraid I won't feel the same. 'Cause baby, it's all I do. Spending more and more time up in bed, thinking about the things I think you said. It's been on my mind, and it's hard to find. Bad habits come and go. I'm afraid my mind is getting slow. I've been thinking about fixing my brain, but I'm afraid I won't feel the same. 'Cause baby, it's all I do. I've been thinking about fixing my brain, but I'm afraid I won't feel the same. 'Cause baby, it's all I do. I swear it's not so hard to understand. I just wanna get in the sun again, the sun again, the sun again, the sun again. I swear it's not so hard to understand. I just wanna get in the sun again, the sun again, the sun again, the sun again.
There we go. Alright. Now audio is fixed now. There we go. At least for now. Kinda sick, guys. Alright, I sound and look a little better right now. But you got that tickle in my throat, man. Lots of snot, lots of body aches, fucking fever. This shit sucks. And since I'm sick and I'm not really feeling up to it, I put packing up books on hold because, for one, I feel like total fucking shit, and for two, I don't think it's a good idea to pack books when you're sick because I don't think people are going to appreciate that extra bit of love that I might end up passing along to them. I'm not sure if that's even possible, but I don't want to risk it for the biscuit. I got no reason to do that. Okay, sorry. Anyways, people are going nuts. There's always something going around, I think. Yeah, pretty much, man. I've been sick a lot lately. I've been told, like, the doctor says it's possibly, COVID related stuff. Not that I have COVID, but that people who've had COVID have had somewhat of a more susceptible immune system, I suppose. Yeah. I usually do the chicken noodle soup and sometimes ginger ale or Sprite or 7 Up, whichever one I find first. Ginger ale's kind of a crapshoot though, because unless it's Canadian Dry, I don't like it. Not really a fan of ginger ale. Because other stuff, I don't know. Canadian Dry tastes good, but the other ginger ales, sometimes they're just like way too bitter and shit like that, and it's just, it's no fun, man. No fun at all. And yeah, and this stream is titled Groups Are Gay because groups are gay. They are very gay. Hey, Kevin. Hey, man. Like, I'm sick. If any of you guys like want to come on and hang out with me, I'll set up a stream yard, and that'll let us all like kind of chit chat and stuff. But I just want to talk about, some stuff. I don't mind Seagrams too much. I think that's like one of the only exceptions besides Canada Dry. I don't remember the last time I bought Seagrams though, so there's a possibility it's one of the ones I don't like. I know I like Seagram's gin. I've bought that more than a few times. We had this one apple twist gin that went amazingly well with Coke, and I haven't seen it offered since, and that kind of, I don't know, that always aggravated me. Anytime I start liking an alcoholic beverage, it seems they stop selling it. I'm guessing that the same people in charge of that stuff was also in charge of the Spider-Man franchise, because every time I start liking the actors and shit, they end up changing them. I still ain't watched that Tom Holland shit, and I'm not saying that those movies are bad. I'm not preemptively judging them. I'm just, Sony has had, this is their third fucking time. So I just tapped out. 3 strikes, you're out, brother. That's how baseball works, at least. I'm sick of seeing the same fucking movie over and over again with just a different actor. It's fucking annoying. And Batman too. Like, if I have to see the Waynes get shot one more fucking time, I'm gonna fucking flip my shit, dude. A lot of this stuff is just as I guess they realize they think that like there's a world of people out there living under rocks or something, but a lot of this fucking shit that they waste fucking time on these movies, it's like common fucking knowledge about these characters. You don't have to explain any of it at this point. It's already been done. All that work's already been done for you. Of course, they're not gonna do anything cool. But yeah, and I ain't seen Marvel shit in God knows how long. I have no interest in watching. The last thing Marvel that I watched was Moon Knight, and I caved on that one because before that I wouldn't necessarily call it a boycott. It was just I'm just not interested in anything that they're offering. So, but I gave in because Moon Knight's one of my all-time favorite characters reading when I was growing up. And that show's not even about Moon Knight. They can pretend that's Moon Knight, but that's not fucking Moon Knight. They pretty much removed everything that made the character unique in any way, shape, or form, and turned it into like this fucking weird ass Indiana Jones nonsense. I'm not behind that, man. All I wanted was to see a schizophrenic guy beat the shit out of some fucking thugs. I don't think that was too much to ask, but they can't do that. So instead, I get stuck with the Mr. Magoo of his personalities for a large majority of it, seldom actually seeing Mark or Moon Knight, period. Uh, I don't know. I didn't like it. So after that, I just, uh, yeah, yeah, I remember that because Raimi always puts that, fucking Oldsmobile in every goddamn thing he does. I think it's even in the Doctor Strange movie that he recently directed, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, you have COVID. Should I take it? Okay, well, my wife has COVID, so there's a possibility that instead of this being the flu, I have COVID. So, yeah, that is a very strong positive. Y'all, look at that shit. This is what my wife just took. I gotta adjust it a little bit because when I put it right in the light, you really can't see it all that well. But that is a very strong positive. You tape the top, I'm just gonna open it from the bottom. So, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Alright. Okay, let me learn to speak Spanish real quick so I can read these directions. Huh? But but I gotta be like inclusive, right? Okay. Why's the English version hidden? It's not even English on the other side. Well, I'm glad the Spanish word for note is nota. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. It's this one. I include two different ones. Alright. Just tell me where I need to stick things. That's all I need to know. Okay, apparently I'm supposed to use this box. It's like a tube holder. Okay. Alright. And then we do this. Hold on, guys. I gotta take a COVID test. Okay. Okay, let's stick in. Gently insert entire absorbent tip of the swab head into one nostril, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. I hate how much this fucking tickles. Alright. 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 Stir it for 30 seconds. Man, that shit gets so far up your nose it makes your eyes water. This thing is engineered to mess up. No, it's actually pretty easy. I'm not gonna mess this up. Just gotta wait a little bit longer. It's been about 30 seconds. I don't know why they had me put it in this thing just to take it out. I feel like I'm gonna spill it trying to get it out of there. Alright. Alright. Swab can go in the trash. There we go. There's a trash can over there. Wrung it. Alright. Then release the tube and dispense 4 drops into the sample well. Alright. Well, y'all never told me to open the sample thing. Alright. Y'all have 2 kits. What else is in this bag? Oh, it's just one of those. Alright. Alright. We got 4 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. Now we wait 15 minutes. Alrighty, I got that timer set. I'm already seeing one line. It hasn't gotten to the other line yet, though. Okay. Yeah, I've already had COVID, man. I've had it twice now. Well, if I have it this time, it'll be 3 times now. The first time was a doozy. The first time was just really terrible. I didn't feel like I was necessarily gonna, die, but I was fucking miserable, dude. Like, I don't know if you've had COVID yet, but at least when I had it that first time, I got a lot of backaches, dude. Like, it made all the muscles in my back ache. And it wasn't like a backache like you threw out your back. It was just everything, just like a constant, just, I don't know how to describe it, but it was just terrible, man. I've somewhat been diagnosed with long COVID to a degree because after having COVID, I have had to miss work due to some intestinal pains and reoccurring muscle aches and stuff. And I went to the doctor, and it wasn't like a quote unquote diagnosis, but we had discussed it because I was asking the doctor, I was like, I've been missing a lot of work because of this shenanigans coming back. I really need, I don't think it's going to kill me or anything, but, what do we think this is? And she said she's probably long COVID. So, like I said, it wasn't an official diagnosis, so to speak, but we kind of just talked about it. And she was like, yeah, it could be long COVID. Problem is they have no way to, like, test that, you know? Like, they can't just take your blood and be like, oh, you have long COVID. They can see if you have the antibodies and stuff like that, but there's no way to diagnose somebody having long COVID. It's just after you get it. And at first, I thought the long COVID thing was like kind of bullshit. It seemed like bullshit. But honestly, I've had some fucking issues after I've had COVID. So, and a lot of those fucking things just kind of come back out of nowhere. And yeah, I'd be silly not to be open to the idea that, the idea of like long COVID and stuff like that. But I don't think I'm in like any like danger of dying or. Like that. I haven't gotten the shots or anything like that. I don't even get the flu shots, man. I never get the flu. Every time I got the flu shot, I got the flu really bad. Like, I usually get the flu anyways, but the times that I've had the flu the worst was always the year that I decided to risk it for the biscuit and try the flu shot. See, I take these because the tests because for one, I don't have to buy them. They're through my insurance. I just go to the pharmacy and be like, "Hey, can I get some tests?" Because they're covered. But my place of work, like, they need to know if, like, anytime you are sick and everything, like, they've calmed down on the whole COVID thing, so to speak. But anytime you are sick, they at least want you to go get one of those tests to see if you test positive or negative. Because if you do test positive, they do want you to stay out a little bit more because it's not necessarily a thing about it being super deadly, but at least in your place of business, you don't want somebody coming in who's going to get everybody else sick either. So they kind of like, they don't like us to come in when we're sick, period. But they don't, I don't believe they've forced me to take a COVID test or anything like that. I just use it to cover my ass because, some places will be like, you've been missing a lot of work. At least this way I can be like, hey, I have COVID. My timer's not done yet, but both lines already showed up, so I still got 10 minutes left on that timer. So, yeah, I got COVID too, according to this test. I think since they went ahead and gave you 4 tests, I'm gonna probably take another one later on in the day, just to make sure. But you should probably let uh, some folks know. Yeah, I need to go ahead and do this. Okay, sorry, and I'm pregnant. But no, also the importance of getting like these tests and stuff too, Kevin, is like if you miss a lot of work because of it, you can usually get like some unemployment benefits and stuff like that to cover you. Because a lot of states have had these programs set up. Uh, so like if I have COVID and my company makes me stay out of work for 2 weeks, I should be able to call them up and be like, hey, I want to be out of work for 2 weeks. I did the same thing in Alabama. So I'll be fine. Ain't nothing gonna kill me though. At least not yet. I still got bills to pay, man. They ain't gonna let me die. I still gotta spread the gospel of cereal too. Speaking of which, I ended up fixing up the design too. Let's see. I'm gonna add an image. Let's see. Go to Otis Misk. Sorry you guys get to hear me snuff, but Nothing I can really do about that. All right. Make it smaller so we can have it up here for now. There we go. I think that's pretty good. I don't know if I'm gonna. Hold on one second, guys. All right, there we go. I don't know about you guys, but I've always been more of a fan of like having like a handkerchief or like an old T-shirt to blow your nose on when you're sick because I don't know, tissues are nice and everything, but like you always run out and then you have all this fucking trash and like tissues laying around. Like at least the shirt, or the handkerchief or rag, I can just use it until it's used up and gets a little crusty and then I can wash it and use it again. I ain't gotta spend nothing. Anyways, like I was getting to before I suddenly had to blow my nose because I could feel it dripping down my mustache. Anyways, um, what was I saying before I was rudely interrupted by my wife? Anyways, like I was saying, but I don't know if I'm gonna leave that background like white or if I'm gonna see about doing like some blood spatter or something like that to break it up. I know there's audio now though, Dave, right? I mean, I'm seeing the thing. No, I muted myself because I was talking to my wife about something with the COVID test I didn't want you guys to hear. It's just nothing bad, just I don't, we all like our privacy. Anyways, what I was saying is I don't know if I'm gonna add like some maybe blood spatter to the background or something, or just leave it white. Uh, I kind of don't want to invest the extra work into having Carlos draw up a background for it, though. Even as nice as that would be, to a degree, I don't want to waste his time, because I'd rather I've we've put in enough time together on this whole little side hustle with the serial chillers kind of thing, just having a little fun and breaking up, working on the comic. But but I don't want to waste any more time or resources into it on his part, because I really need him to be focusing on getting pages for issue 4 done up and everything. I was thinking about doing the white. I don't have the cereal bowl close to me right now, but oh, my wife is gonna hand it to me. But I did do like I was eating cereal out of it today. I did test it out 3 times now. Uh, but if you can see, I've got like those little blood splotches. I think I did too many, but I might try to do that onto this one over here. I keep pointing in the wrong direction because the way I'm looking at it, it's on my right side. So I'm wanting to, well, 15 minutes is up. Do my results change? No? Okay. I have COVID, guys. I got the coof. Not sure where I would have gotten it from. Yeah, but I got it, so that's what it is. Anyways, like I said, I might add some blood spatter. You say it's fine white, but I don't know. I'm gonna play around with it. I'm not sold on anything just yet. I mean, you can see how much this design changed because when I first ordered the cereal bowls, we hadn't designed the logo yet. Carlos was still just working on the character designs for like a serialized version of Otis and the guys from the books so far. As everybody in there is, everybody in here appears by issue 3. So when I did this, I just got like a creepy font, like a bloody kind of font, just as basically a filler. But I like the clean one more because that one's more like the Kellogg's thing when they were doing the Cereal City USA. Uh, I don't know. I like stuff like that. I like kind of. It's not like purely nostalgia based either. Like I don't know. I think there's a strong difference between you know selling stuff purely on nostalgia and having fun with the nostalgia instead because that's not even the main focus of the book. This is just extra stuff that I'm kind of doing that I think might be a little fun that other folks might want to do and participate in. And it gives me something better to offer people when they decide to, back at higher dollar amounts on my campaigns. I can have something truly unique and extra that I can use to, reward people for their support and patronage and stuff like that. Because a lot of people think like these tiers, like you're actually just selling the item. No, if you really think about it, everything is set up to be a reward for a donation. So the reward doesn't necessarily equate to the value of the donation because if it did, then we wouldn't be able to make books. If I spent exactly what I made, like I would be nowhere. I wouldn't have any profit or anything like that. So it's just something for other folks to keep in mind because I know some people get a little peculiar. They're like, that's just too expensive. I'm like, well, some people do have that kind of money to throw around, and I want to be open to uh, getting that kind of business because that kind of business, I like the little guys too who just buy my PDFs and everything. I respect every backer. Uh, but it'd be silly not to try to do something to bank on that because those guys getting those kind of big fish backers to a degree would help both Carlos and I out immensely. Yeah, and that's another thing. That's why I decided to do like the cereal bowls and stuff because I like getting stuff I can use. Like I know I did the metal trading cards and I feel like these are okay like as a sellable option. But as a stretch goal, I don't know if I'm going to do this again. We'll see. Uh, but I prefer stickers and stuff that I can use or pins or you know wall tapestries or metal prints that I can hang on the wall. I mean, the other stuff is nice. Like I know Eric Hawkins had like some pretty cool like poker chips and stuff, but at the end of the day, like Dave said, that crap just ends up, and I don't mean to say it's crap, but that stuff just ends up in a drawer somewhere. I don't do anything with it. And as much as I appreciate getting it in the moment, at the end of the day, it's just crap I'll never do anything with. As opposed to like a sticker, when I get stickers, I put them on my car, I put them on the back of my laptop, I'll stick them to my guitar or something. There's a lot of places I can put stickers and patches and pins and even bookmarks I find have some intrinsic value. I like offering stuff that people that serves a purpose. And that's just an OCD thing of mine to a degree. But the cereal bowls I feel serve a purpose because I'm having a blast eating out of mine. So this won't sit in a box. This won't sit in a drawer. This will probably maybe sit in your pantry with your other bowls and stuff. And who knows, maybe it'll be one of your kids' favorite bowls after a while. And then you'll have to worry about buying another one. But I do prefer to do stuff. Like, I'll probably do these coffee cups too. Though this is why you proof stuff, people, because they did not give me any warning or anything. Made the image the exact size that they had requested, and it still got cut off. So, but this is still a really good coffee cup, and I've been using it. And it's a big coffee cup too. It's one of those 15-ounce ones, I think. Or maybe it's like 14 or 16. I know it's more than 10 and 12. But I might do these too. We'll see about these. I'm still working on these. I don't want to overwhelm myself because I am just one dude. But I should be getting a sample of the lunch boxes that I'm going to put this design on here shortly. It is on the way, um, supposedly. And that sample's not going to have my design on it because I just ordered a sample. It would have cost me, over $50 if I had ordered a sample with my custom logo on it. But my hope, and one of the reasons why I got the sample, is because at least with that for the lunchbox itself, I'm not really sampling the artwork necessarily. I mainly want to get it to see if I can fit this bowl and a t-shirt inside of it, and then that way I can ship them out like that. But I'm looking through my emails real quick because I'm curious where my damn lunchbox is. So I've gotten everything else. And lunchbox is supposed to be through UPS. And if I'm lucky, it might show up today. Let's see, where would it be? I have so many unread emails, bro. Just like fucking thousands upon thousands. I know it's over 16,000, like on unread emails. Okay, I should be getting close. Oh, hey. Do you want to back produce 2 after all the shenanigans and drama that delayed the first one? I don't. Where the hell is it? Was it really this far back? Okay, here we go. It really was that far back. Oh, Well, I guess I kind of called it. Estimated delivery is today, February 15th by 7 p.m. All right, cool deal. Well, I guess I'll get that today. I want to say I got the bowl on Monday, or maybe I got it yesterday. And the packaging they used was really weird. This is the packaging it came in, and the way that they had it set up. I thought this is really cool. As you see, there's like this plastic thing on here, and and this plastic is attached to these two flaps, kind of like the wings on a tampon if you have sisters. And then it just, it's kind of hard to do, but, ah, damn it. You're supposed to fold it down, and then it folds in like this, and this is how they had it shipped. And it's actually really ingenious packaging. Like I don't know, this is a really cool packaging system. Like I've never seen anything quite like this before. And it works flawlessly, at least for me. I mean, until I go messing around with it too much. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to sit. And then it goes into the box like that. And it's really cool because it's not going anywhere and there's like no styrofoam. It's just a flat piece of cardboard with a few cuts and like some stuff that's just a little bit stronger than shrink wrap. I don't know, I thought that was neat. And people keep telling me to do like cereal boxes, but that's really impractical. I looked it up. To do something like that, it would cost me about $2,500 just to get started, and that's before like printing and stuff. I looked up a few specific places where I could get like actual cereal boxes made up. And that just wasn't practical. I have another idea. I haven't unveiled it yet because it's kind of going to be a surprise for folks when I do ship them out. But I have an idea that's even better than that. And I think people really like it. The science of science. I don't know. I feel like people don't marvel at stuff like this anymore. Like holding up a package from Walmart. But what I mean is like, you ever notice that people don't really just sit down and be like, you know what, that's really fucking neat. Whoever thought about this was really fucking smart. No, we just kind of, I don't know, I guess we're not easily impressed anymore, but I don't know. I'm always fascinated when I see new things like that. Time to get our smoke on for the COVID. Gotta kill off that COVID. But yeah, uh, groups are gay. I guess I gotta say that once in a while just to stay on topic. And they really are. I mean, I know I'm doing a serial club, but I find there's a distinction between, goofy stuff for laughs and actually doing like a serious like movement or anything. Like a serial thing's just for folks who want to pay extra and who also happen to love cereal as much as I do. Um, but like a lot of these folks are like trying to sell like fucking movements and shit, and that's just fucking gay and retarded. Because at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of motherfuckers trying to get paid. I don't know what kind of movement uh, I necessarily belong to, except the movement to screw over as many people as possible before somebody does it to you. I don't know. I don't consider that a real movement, but I don't know. A lot of these people, they go into these clubs and stuff, and it's kind of sad because a lot of them are genuinely good people. And to some degree, I feel like a vast majority of them have never really felt like they belonged anywhere. Like they've never had their own little club or group or whatever. Well, it's a bunch of older guys like me, you know. We've always been kind of social outsiders and stuff, and this kind of breaks up the monotony of everyday life and home life and stuff like that, and kind of takes us back to when we were kids a little bit. But the problem is some of these people, you know, they buy into too much of it. You know, they forget things. They forget that they're supposed to be here to have a good time, and it starts to get more political and less about the content. You got creators slitting each other's throats, metaphorically, just for a little piece of a tiny spotlight that isn't even really large enough to benefit anybody. It's all kind of silly. It's always not anti anything. I'm just pro individual. I like to see people rep themselves, you know, being like, I got this cool book. As opposed to, because this general idea that you need to be in a group to succeed is absolutely absurd. You don't need any of that nonsense to sell people a comic book. The only thing you need to sell a comic book is a comic book. I've seen really bad books make a lot of money. And I've seen really good books make very little money. It's very unpredictable. But if you have a passion for the art, you can make it happen. You don't have to join gay little fruity clubs where you're constantly having to sacrifice your own morals and convictions in fear of stepping out of line and being attacked because of it. Because that's what groups really end up being in the very end. Is it just ends up being a bunch of gay people who are trying to police each other. Just police yourself, man. Focus on doing you. If you build it, they will come. Like, Field of Dreams is one of the best movies ever made. And that's one of the truest statements, too. If you build it, they will come. I built it. I made a comic book, and people happen to like it. And every time I launch a book, even more people start to like it. So I've built it, and that's what I focused on. And I'm currently still building it. And people are coming along for the ride. I don't need any gay groups. I don't have to suck anybody's dick on stream. The only thing I have to do is offer my product. That's it. I just post about art and stuff like that, and people happen to like it. They see me having fun. I have no need to sit there and make a multiple thread tweet about how gay Star Wars is now. I'll just say Star Wars is gay. But hey, y'all seen this shit that I've been watching? There's a lot of good stuff still coming out. People ignore it though. I watched that movie The Menu with my wife the other day, and that was a very good movie. Highly recommend folks give that one a go. We like watching cooking shows too, so. The only celebrity chef though that I actually respect is Gordon Ramsay though. He's the only one who seems like a real person. All the other ones are just fake and they have like these weird fucking hairdos and shit. I don't know. Bobby Flay is kind of like normal, but maybe that's just maybe he's really fucking weird and he just plays it off being normal on TV. But Ramsey's done some really cool stuff, like for charity and stuff like that. He's brought a lot of attention to like cocaine epidemic and stuff like that, because his brother ended up getting hooked on the drug and ended up dying and stuff like that, or he's in and out of prison. I forget which one it is. But anyways, he's just done a lot of cool shit beyond just cooking, and he typically knows what he's doing. And like when you see him interacting with kids and stuff, you can tell like that's like really genuine. But all the other celebrity chefs seem to be just a bunch of fucking fakes. Whatever happened to fuck Emeril Lagasse? Bam! I ain't seen him in a long time. And how do you copyright a phrase like "bam"? Pow! No, I yell at my food. That's my expertise. Not only do I cook, but I also offer onomatopoeias. I think that's what they're called. That's the proper term for the echo sound effects and stuff, onomatopoeias. See, what is Carlos messaging me right now? Yeah. Anyways, I got a kitty down here at my feet too. You want to see the kitty? I got the nanners. Alright, I guess she's just gonna sit there now. What are you doing, cat? I'm not gonna hold your butt up. There you go. This old house. Look at this hammer bob. I like this old house and stuff like that. I've been watching a lot of stuff about ancient civilizations and everything too. I've been uncovering a lot of interesting things. I saw this. I don't want to get into it too much, but I kind of like to talk about it, even though it's not I kind of believe, because I'm not doing it just for the show. I'm actually really into this stuff, but I've been watching these videos, and one of these guys has I don't know if you would call it a theory. What comes before a theory? Because I know like theory is like something that's like provable, and well, it's not hypothesis. Uh, but anyways, like he has this idea, right, that the pyramids were actually like a massive chemical plant, and it sounds kind of absurd, but when he starts talking about, he was talking about like in the king's chamber or whatever, like they would like burn off like a shit ton of like sulfur and stuff like that, and it would collect up, and they would supposedly have like a way to pump the water into the pyramid, and then that stuff would like fall into the water, and it would cause like a chemical reaction, which causes like immense amounts of heat, which you can actually see evidence of when you're actually going through, like, I think it's in the gallery or something like that. But you can see where, like, this granite's been exposed to massive amounts of heat. But, anyways, this reaction happens, and they end up with sulfuric acid. And I think it's strange because the first thing that I think of is, like, why would the Egyptians need sulfuric acid? Or not even the Egyptians, but the people who came before them that actually built the pyramids. Because I know there's other theories where they're saying like it was some kind of power generator to a degree, but honestly, after looking into the thing about it being more of a chemical plant, that just kind of makes more sense because, I mean, yeah, I suppose like some of the theories behind like the pyramids being a power plant are true, but if that were the case, we have we have more than three different ones, but there's also evidence, I think, in like they call it like the Red Pyramid or whatever. But the guy who was proposing the idea about the chemical plant, he said that there's evidence that they were using the Red Pyramid to either make methane. I believe it was methane, and it's just really interesting. Because we still don't know what these fucking things were for. They're not tombs. We haven't found any bodies in them, and they're not even designed like tombs. Like these are extra super precise fucking structures that had some kind of underlying purpose that we have yet to figure out. But I really like the idea of the chemical plant. I'm not sure what they would use those resources for, but they could have been using, I don't know, can sulfuric acid like be used to soften stone? I mean, maybe if you combined it with something else, maybe they were using chemical reactions to call it to soften stones, that allowed them to basically like scoop stuff out of this rose granite and stuff. I don't know. It's really hard to tell. Or this could tie into maybe they were gathering these chemicals because they were using them all in tandem as some kind of for some kind of geopolymer mixture, and they were actually weren't moving all of these stones because I know some people kind of laugh at the idea of geopolymer, which is basically the idea is essentially they were just breaking up granite into smaller pieces and then using like a clay base as well as like a bonding agent to some degree to make concrete essentially. But it was when it comes out, it just looks like a big slab of limestone or whatever you used to build it up. But then again, you also have like that fucking obelisk in Aswan. I think it's Aswan. Aswan. I think it's that. But that thing, at the same time, that thing is like carved into the fucking rose granite. And so that kind of proves that they weren't making things, at least everything, out of geopolymer. So they had some way to lift these objects out of these humongous holes and carry them fucking hundreds of miles. And it's fucking crazy to think about. I don't know what they would use chemicals for, but I don't know what they would use power for either. So I'm open to either one, but I thought it was interesting that I happened to stumble across that one guy talking about the chemical plant thing because I haven't heard anyone talk about that yet. And a lot of the things, at least to me, they sound like they make a lot of sense. Even though I don't know what they would use these things for when he's like explaining it. And, what if uh, the pre dynastic Egyptians or whatever were really into chemistry? I mean, that's not entirely off the table. It's not entirely off the table that they would need these things. Cause, what do you use sulfuric acid for? I don't even know. What is sulfuric acid used for? Huh. Well, this is interesting because apparently, according to just Google, it's used to produce other chemicals, explosives, and glue. It can also be used to refine petroleum to cure metal and in lead-based car batteries. See, now that last one is really interesting because there is that one thing, that battery that they found. So it's kind of strange that in one section they have like this Egyptian battery. I don't know if that was actually Egyptian. Maybe they found that somewhere else. Maybe it was a Roman thing. But beyond that, they couldn't really explain it because they were like, well, this is more of an accidental thing because they had it. It was like a jar and it had like the fucking iron rod and everything in it. And it was essentially a fucking battery. But nobody knows what they would have used the power on. And they had no idea. But now you got this other guy who's got this idea that, hey, they were making a lot of fucking sulfuric acid in the Great Pyramids of Giza. And it's one of the components of a fucking battery. And I know people are going to say, well, we haven't found any machinery or anything. Well, that's because we reuse all of it. You know how rare it is for us to find anything, any kind of metal from any age, because how often it's been fucking melted down and reused for something else? Uh, You don't think that if people like rediscover how to forge metal, they're not going to start breaking apart all of these other things that they don't understand how they work or operate so they can make something that they do understand how it operates? Because that's what happened to all the metal stuff. Because that's why they found that one computer kind of thing. It's not really a computer, but it was like a really sophisticated device for tracking celestial systems, basically. And they found the only reason they found that is because it was at the bottom of the fucking ocean where nobody could scavenge it. I mean, we are scavengers by nature, so anything metal that was, I mean, like a lot of these fucking temples had casings, stones. A lot of them were full of treasures and jewels and all kinds of stuff that people are going to take. So they're going to take the metals too because we got scrappers. I've been a scrapper. I went around and went door to door to people's yards that had a lot of fucking like old washing machines and shit on their lawns. Like, hey, you want me to haul that shit off for you? And then I would take it all to the scrap yard, maybe get $40, 20 for the gas to get there, and then I made $20 for my effort. But it's just really interesting. Is this guy's got this well, not hypothesis, but this guy's got this idea of the pyramids being used to create sulfuric acid, but there's also, at the same time, there's evidence of them having batteries. And the Roman stuff is incredibly sophisticated. Like, they have all kinds of piping systems, and they have systems for heating and cooling water. It's really crazy if you actually get into it, because they've been discovering a lot of things under a lot of these bathhouses and stuff that were built back in the day, too. So, just really cool stuff, man. But the coolest thing I find about it is the more I study, the more I don't worry about global catastrophes. I know some people would say, well, you're researching global catastrophes and cataclysms and stuff and extinction events. Why would this make me feel better about it? And honestly, what makes me feel better about it is with all of the evidence, we're like one of the only species that has kept on surviving through all of it. Like everything else has started over. That's why we're so more advanced than any other species on the planet, because even the younger Dryas killed off over, I think, 80% of the megafauna and stuff like that, and lots of fucking animal species and everything. I mean, they have that black mat that basically goes across the globe where everything was just torched. But somehow we survived. So either we were down there in caves, which we have plenty of caves. We have discovered entire fucking towns that are underground. And I don't mean like, just a little cave system that they just retrofit. No, I'm talking literally like 17 level fucking whole entire cities built underneath the surface of the earth. They were just a few of them have been discovered in Turkey recently, and fucking doomsday bunker for like maybe a global catastrophe. I don't know. I mean, maybe the people who survived were down there in that cave, and then they came out, and this is us now. But that's what makes me feel better about it, is because we're finding stuff that we didn't build that existed before these fucking cataclysmic events, which tells me that despite everything, we have persevered as a species. We have kept fucking going. We have not let anything stop us, and I find that fucking cool. Like, that fills me with like big dick energy about the human race. Like, we've survived our planet blowing up at least like fucking 9 times now. Like, what's going on? Had to go eat. I'm just talking about shenanigans, man. About the ancient apocalypses and stuff like that. And how, even though it is kind of scary to think like there's these, large extinction events that could happen like that have happened in the past, I was just reveling in the fact that we as a species have survived most of them. And I just thought that was fucking neat. It gives me hope for the future more than anything else, because, if like a giant cosmic entity hitting our Earth and just completely setting the whole goddamn thing on fire doesn't kill us, like, what can? Either that or we're getting killed off and somebody keeps like reseeding the planet with us. They're like, up, like we do a quick save before the global catastrophe, and then the aliens swoop in and they just drop us off after things settle. I don't know. We'll see. I've been going on for a little while here, but I'm about to hop off. I am pretty sick and I'm getting kind of sleepy too. The future, like H.G. Wells. I don't know about the future, man. Like, I like H.G. Wells though. I think he's got some pretty cool stuff. The Time Machine was pretty trippy. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna hop off of here. I'm gonna go be sick. I know I may look good and sexy and shit, but I can tell you, like, on the inside, I feel like Pauly Shore after a bender. Later, guys.